Calabios! Recently released pay-per-view figures for Manny Pacquiao's, fight against what's his name? Word Diesmal. Regardless of the numbers, the 300,000 buys, it's well below the 800,000 mark that are, announced prior to the fight. Now, what Manny has to do is look at the negotiations with Floyd like two companies merging. Now, both partners will create a certain amount of business to put to the table. And, what Mayweather will show our pay-per-view numbers over the past few years that average like over 1 million buys. Now, what if Manny... Manny is bringing, to the table a substantially lower number now. By the way, a few months ago, he said he'd fight Mayweather for free. So declining any sum from Mayweather's camp will make Manny's plea look like a media stunt. But let's look at the benefits first. He'll be back in the limelight and big stage. His recent numbers indicate a loss of casual fans. And his style is exciting and also quite fun. Calabrios likes watching. Now, he will draw in more fans for the future fights and rekindle his brand in the US and abroad. And now he looks, Now, let's look at the money for a second. His last two fights, he made $20 million a fight. The numbers for Canelo Mayweather were 2.2 million buys. Now, let's say that Mayweather versus Pacquiao does like 3 million buys. $100 per pay-per-view, buying 30% to take on the fight. It would be 71 million after paying 30% promoter's fee. That's a lot of money and nothing to be ashamed of! Now, finally, Roach and Arm are very confident that Pacquiao will win the fight, right? Now, Mayweather, has already requested a rematch clause in the contract. So if Pacquiao does well, he would win he would have the ability to dictate the terms. Now, Mayweather would be forced to take less money, because for certain he'd do anything to avenge his loss. Who knows, the rematch may be even bigger than the first fight, and after everything is said and done, after the two fights, you could possibly make more money than Floyd. Now, when you look at the big picture of the 730 split, you can work out just fine for the Pacquiao. Better than fine, actually. So, the bigger question will be if Mayweather will work with Bob Arum. Mayweather and De La Hoya realized later in their career that they were famous and no longer needed a promoter. And promoters are only necessary for no-name, up-and-coming fighters. Well-established fighters like Mayweather and Pacquiao could just go to ESPN and announce a fight, or go to Jimmy Fallon and announce the fight. Yeah, so, Mayweather and Manny already have fame, so trying to sell Mayweather on the idea of splitting the promoters fee at 30% is difficult because 30% of 3 million pay-per-view buys is, at $100, let's say each total is $90 million. Ugh. So, you can justify that Mayweather splitting that with the Arum. Mayweather could sell this fight by himself and get pay-per-view buys to 3 million. So we'll see if Mayweather and Pacquiao will be able to make this very, very difficult decision that's going on 5 years now. I also don't see Mayweather allowing the very Pacquiao-based, this is a biased HBO commentator, Jim Lampley, to cover the fight. So, the negotiations are much more complex than fans may know about. But from the very, every published report, both sides are working diligently to get it done. So we only hope Manny, sees that the 730 split may not be so bad after all. It will definitely win him some votes in the public's eye, and it will show that he's really trying to make the fight happen, and not just using Floyd as a media ploy to promote his other fights. Algeria!